You need body awareness, and you do need to have some level of, I think, mental practice.
Some kind of practice, yeah. Like a meditation or like a mindfulness, because otherwise that's when you're going to jump into yin and you're going to get hurt. Or you're going to leave angry. That happened to me, it was probably like 10 years ago. I took a Tai Chi class, and I, over the course of the hour, got angrier and angrier and angrier, and I left so mad, and I couldn't figure out why. And it was just, I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah. Well, what I find is that there's some so I'm going to just keep using this because I'm here. There are some times when a pose hurts so much, is so tight, that I'm like, I just,
yeah.
Like the feeling, I don't know what it is other than,
yeah.
Like that feeling makes me pissed.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do with it because I can't punch people in a yoga class.
I know. Have you ever had anybody? I think I had somebody tell me at least more than a couple times that certain yin poses brought up anger or brought up fear. And I don't know that it's like, I don't know. I think there are certain schools of thought with yoga. Like some people might be like, oh, it's bringing up this kind of energy or it's doing this. But I don't think I fall into that school. Like I feel like we are like moving energy through our body with our breath, pranayama, stuff like that. But I think, man, sometimes it's just like that's the shit that was already there, and you're just slowing down, and it's coming up.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
And you can use that shape or the next pose or whatever you do to keep working through that. But I don't think, I don't know. I don't want to be too controversial, but when people talk about storing emotions in the tissue of the hips, like I don't know how I feel about that, because I think just because our hips, we have like our largest muscles, like our glutes and our glutes medius and stuff, those are like the largest muscles in our body. So if we're sitting all the time, and the fascia's tight, all these things are tight, and we get into a big hip opener, that's a lot of sensation. That's a ton of sensation, and you just have to sit and be with it. So like, is it that we're, I'm going to be so controversial, is it that like we're really storing these emotions in our hips, which is possible, I'm sure. Like there's another point I want to bring up about connective tissue. Or is it just that we're finally just like, we're getting into some really intense stuff and we're being forced to sit with it? I think we could get a similar sensation in a really difficult balancing pose, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I would just be curious to hear more, because then the other side of that too is there's some scientists who are kind of like positing that because of the role fascia plays in our body, it's on everything. Like we have, blood flowing through it. We have all these things happening that I heard somebody positing that our consciousness could possibly even be stored in our fascia. And that blew my mind a little bit, but like I thought about that too, and I was like, I want to know more.
Yeah.
Like, so that's where I'm at with hip openers.
I think that it'd be interesting to see about flipping the way that we explain that or describe that.
I think that's what it is.
I think that what it is it's just like, we're just using easy words.
And we're using words we've heard for like a few decades. Like when people are like, twists bring out toxins. Like, well, we don't have any science for that. But like, you heard it because your teacher heard it, because her teacher heard it, because her teacher heard it. But stuff like that just floats around, and then we stop questioning where it comes from.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, I end up feeling like a jerk sometimes as a yoga teacher, because like I want to know why things work, and I want to have like some science behind it. And then I feel kind of like I'm being rude or mean to yoga as a profession, when I'm like, I don't believe that that's a thing. Mm-hmm. But I think that we need to think, we like yoga teachers, the yoga community needs to think critically about all this stuff, because just like anything else, yoga has evolved.
Yeah.
We don't need to believe everything that comes out of our yoga teacher's mouth, which a lot of people do. They think that
just because we say it doesn't,
I mean like,
try it for yourself.
Like my liver and my kidneys are really good at detoxifying my body, and I don't think that like being in a twist is, I don't drink, but like I don't think that like hanging out in my twist is gonna undo like the drinking, the night of drinking I had the night before. But we'll still hear stuff like that, and there's zero evidence to show that that's a thing.
No, and you know, yes, when you go to a heated yoga class and you sweat, you're gonna smell the alcohol from somebody's night last night.
And they're like, they detoxified.
But you're also gonna smell that they had garlic to eat.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's what the skin does.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I guess so. In that vein, that's maybe perhaps that's not technically a form of detoxifying.
No.
I mean, it's just your body is sweating and these smells and things are coming out of your skin, but that's not.
And we know now that when people are losing weight, they're not sweating it out. It's actually being breathed out. So,
Oh wow.
that blew my mind. So when people are on some kind of like diet or workout regimen or whatever they're doing to lose weight, they're losing a lot of weight. It's actually coming out as carbon dioxide. So
Oh, that's interesting.
So the sweat, so the idea of detoxing by sweating, whatever you lose, because you'll hear about that with like water detoxes or things like that. It all comes back.
Yeah.
That's not, sweat isn't actual body weight leaving you. As soon as you drink water, when they tell you you're allowed to drink water, you know, whatever, it's gonna come back into the body and you're gonna bounce back out. So
Right.
I don't know. I
And
think
you need to stay hydrated. I mean, that's just fundamental to life.
because I for a little while I was doing powerlifting, and I know that a lot of powerlifters they'll stay at a certain weight throughout their training, and then they'll do what they call water loading to drop weight really quickly, like within a 24-hour period, so they can compete in the lighter weight class. So their numbers, once they drink their water, when they eat their food again, their numbers are going to be higher because they've been training at that weight. So like, say you weigh 132 pounds, so that's the 132 pound weight class. You do your water load, so it's usually drinking just a ton of water for several days, dehydrating your body. You weigh in, and you somehow weigh in for like 123. So you can compete at 123 pounds with all the people that weigh 123 pounds, but you rehydrate, get your carbs back in your body, and you're going to be able to physically lift more. So that it's kind of that same idea with like detoxing, like.
Hugh Jackman, actually, I watched he was on one of those late night shows, and he was saying,
he's delightful.
Yeah, he really is. And he was really honest about, like, this is why I don't want to be Wolverine anymore, because for his, so they would prepare for shirt off days.
Yeah. Oh God,
3 days. I mean, like, he's delicious, but it makes me feel bad thinking he's delicious now, because
he was in pain and suffering.
So 3 days prior to shirt off day, he would stop drinking water in order to show off his muscles more
and
the veins and all that. Yes, because he literally would work and do action scenes and all that to almost complete dehydration and near death.
That makes me so sad for you, Jack.
Yeah, but that's exactly it. Like, you know, and so we have. I mean, this could get us into a whole other conversation about how media has completely skewed our ideas about what men should be, how women should be, and how that makes like relationships impossible if we try to make them to be like what they are in the movies.
None of us can
like if I really wanted a man that looks like Wolverine or Hugh Jackman in the movies, like that means he's close to death all the time because he's harmfully
24/7.
Yes.
What's that? It's like, I forget what that is. Something.
Rhabdomyolysis.
Yeah, or your muscles just waste.
I was in that. I actually got myself to that point.
From running.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because I was teaching too much. I was running too much, and I
did the same thing, but I didn't get that. I got hyponatremia, which
I've had that too.
You have? Why do we do this?
And this is just in the past couple of years.
I was hospitalized for it.
Dr. Bartlett, she's like, Berg, you got to cut this shit out. You need to be hydrated. You need to stop.
Oh my God, that happened to me when it was like my second or third year of teaching yoga, and I was trying to train for stuff like running and.
Oh, I smell bad. I gotta put on deodorant.
Off frame. But I mean, if you're saying that, I'm saying that. How many other people are doing
Yep.
that?
Yep. Yeah. And I just thought, oh, I just need to, do XYZ more or whatever.
And it's always more. It's always more stuff. It's never less stuff.
No. And the problem that I ran into also was learning that, and I worked with a body guy. I can't even remember what.
A body guy?
A body person. Can't remember. The human form. What the hell is his name? Sorry. But anyway,
You can put it in the notes.
In the agreement, yes. Read below. This is his name. So one of the things that I learned was like, okay, so I am hyper flexible.
I am too.
However, the challenge with that is that the same feeling of having tight hamstrings is also the same feeling of them being overstretched.
I did the same thing.
And so, I've got some students who I know are flexible, and when they tell me their hamstrings feel tight, I'm like, no, they're not.
They're not.
Because you can
I didn't know that either. Yeah, somebody had to tell me the same thing. Because I've got hyper flexible. I love having video to
Your
show this.
fingers are outrageous. Like, they're distracting.
Yeah.
Especially this one.
This guy. And like, I discovered that when I was like 5 years old, and I would use it to freak out the boys in my class because they thought it was so gross. But yeah, my fingers, my knees, a little bit of my elbows. I think my SI joints are too wiggly too. Like they're hyper flexible. So I went into yoga like, look at all this cool stuff I can do right off the bat, and then everything hurt.
Yeah.
Everything hurt because I was overstretching, because I was like, first day of yoga, first class I took was an Ashtanga class when I start doing it, because it's primary series is all forward bending, and I was like, I am nailing these forward bends. And so I'm already touching my toes first day, and then I got the adjustment of somebody like pushing on my back, and then like, my head is on the ground, I'm so cool. And then like for a week I was like, I can't walk. Yeah. So
yeah, that's not really a feeling you want to feel. That you're not shooting for that feeling after a yoga class of not being able to walk. However, I mean, the argument is, on the flip side, like, okay, if you're new to some sort of movement, exercise, practice,
sore.
Yeah, you're gonna feel your muscles.
Yeah,
but
it's hard to describe that if somebody is new. I don't know. I usually.
But don't try for that. You know, like that's not. You're not looking to be in pain, but. A class that's mostly core stuff, you're going to feel your abs the next day.
Yeah, which is okay, because, like...
They're building strength.
Yeah, they have to make those little teeny tiny baby tears, and then they grow stronger, which is good. But it's just, I think it's important to, when you're teaching, make sure people understand where they should feel certain things, especially with the upper body, because that's, I think, where people get, like, rotator cuff issues with... Like chaturanga. Like
God.
Some people now are like, oh, we shouldn't do chaturanga. Chaturanga is bad. But
just teach it.
I disagree. I love chaturanga for as much.
That's what's made me.
I know, for as much shit as I talk about like certain like types of yoga, like I love chaturanga because I can feel it through my triceps, my shoulders, like my upper back, and I feel like really powerful and strong to just kind of be hovering there over the ground. But it took me a long time to get to that point.
Yeah.
So when people are coming to it from a place of maybe like overly flexible and not strong in their upper body, that's when they're gonna have issues. So that's where I try to remind people, like, again, dropping the ego, the ahimsa, do no harm kind of a thing is like, maybe you do knees, chest, and chin rather than chaturanga. Maybe you're chaturanga all the way to the floor and cobra. If I teach a sun salutation or vinyasa, I try to always 100% of the time say cobra or up dog, but not saying if you can't do up dog, do cobra.
Yeah,
so
you gotta
like,
be careful with our language. And that's
fine. Or like, I was hearing somebody say, with cobra, don't call it baby cobra, like call it low cobra and high cobra or something like that, because if you call it, which I mean, I'm like, oh, that's annoying, I can't say that, but I get it too, because if you say baby cobra and then then push up to other cobra, like everybody that is like in that headspace of the ego is going to be like, I'm not a baby.
Yeah, well,
and they're going to press up and jam their shoulders into their ears, and they're going to be like,
well, here's the thing, though. So I teach baby cobra, keep your belly button on the ground.
Yeah, I still say baby cobra.
I do, and
it's cute.
It's a distinction because, but then on the other hand, like if you wanted to get all uptight about terminology, like it pisses me off that it's king cobra.
Why are you the king?
Yeah, I'm not a man. Why can't it be queen cobra?
Or like, what is it?
Like
headstand is the king of asanas,
the king of asanas,
and
yes.
but then shoulder stand is the
queen.
Like it's like, but then everybody wants to do headstand more because it's actually like harder. Like,
I mean, I disagree though because
I do too.
I think that it's harder for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Shoulder stand is a very
do it right.
deep stretch.
Yeah,
It's
you're pushing into
my
the ground with your.
It's a chest opener. It's a neck stretch. It's a spinal. It's a forward fold because you're putting your neck into a 90-degree angle.
Yeah, I don't practice it right now.
Nor should you.
Yeah, but I didn't know that when I first started practicing, and I saw everybody doing it, and then somebody mentioned the whole like queen of the asanas, and I was like, I want to be the queen of the asanas.
I am the queen of asanas.
And then I hurt my neck because like I have whiplash, and I've had it for a long time, and I was just like, my neck's already flat. How about I flatten it out more and then put a whole bunch of pressure on it and not use my shoulders to push the floor away? And
Sounds great.
It was, I still think about it because I remember that week after. I was like, I can't turn my head to either side.
Oh yeah, and you know,
And it looked so cool.
And you can seriously like overstretch your neck and muscles between your shoulder blades.
Oh, totally. Mine are overstretched right now just because of whiplash. It's like my chin juts forward because it can't support my head.
It's ridiculous. Oh my god.
Yeah, doctor's like, it's like, imagine a stick with a watermelon attached to it. That watermelon's gonna start to tip forward. And I was like, all right, man, I'll do my PT.
Wow. Oh my god.
So my head is like a watermelon on a stick.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's a 9 to 14 pound skull.
Yeah.
And brain.
Yeah, so I don't need to do a headstand or shoulder stand.
No,
right now.
you don't.